So welcome everyone, and thank you so much for joining us this Friday evening. My name is Lulu Hamad with Yalla Indivisible. We're one of the co-hosts for this forum, along with Orange County Congregational Community Organizing. It's like too many C's there. And the Arab American Civic Council as well. I'll just speak a little bit in Arabic before I give it over to Karen from OCCCCO to give the introduction in Spanish, and then we'll hand it over to Sue Guilford from the League of Women Voters Central OC area to to begin and moderate this forum. So switching to Arabic. أهلا وسهلا بالجميع. شكرا كثير لكم إنكم عم بتشاركونا نهار الجمعة لهالندوة كتير مهمة لنسمع من المرشحين لمجلس بلدية أناهايم اللي هن رح يعطونا آرائهم، وكمان في عنا كتير أسئلة بتهم الجالية العربية بأناهايم ورح يتفضلوا يجاوبونا عليهم. So أهلا وسهلا فيكم. Okay, over to you, Karen.
That's cute.
Thank you so much, Yalla. Lulu. Hola, buenas noches. Mi nombre es Karen Alvarado. Estoy con OCCCCO. Se refiere a Orange County Congregational Community Organization. Vamos a tener interpretación disponible esta noche en español para quienes los necesiten. Voy a ponerlo en el chat. Solamente pueden marcar ese número de teléfono o copiarlo y pegarlo en su teléfono para que escuchen la interpretación en el español simultáneamente. Muchas gracias y que disfruten este foro de candidatos del concilio de la ciudad de Anaheim.
Thank you so much, Karen, and Sue Guilford, our moderator for the night. The floor is totally yours.
Thank you. Excuse me, I'm trying to get a little light on, get a little light on this. Oh, that doesn't work very, all right. Welcome to the, yeah, we're trying to figure all this out. I want to welcome everybody to the candidate forum featuring candidates for City of Anaheim City Council Districts 1, 4, and 5. I want to thank the Arab American Civic Council, the Orange County Congregational Community Organization, and Yalla Indivisible for hosting this event. We're especially pleased that translations will be provided in both Spanish and Arabic. I'm Sue Guilford. I'm a member of League of Women Voters of Central Orange County area and the moderator of tonight's forum. I'm not a resident of Anaheim, which means I'm not an interested voter for this contest. The League of Women Voters is a nonpartisan, nonprofit organization of women and men established to promote political responsibility through informed, active participation in government. The League does not support, oppose, or evaluate political candidates or parties. Sometimes we are asked, but we don't do that. Although our nonpartisan policy does not permit endorsement of political candidates, we do, after careful study, take positions on political issues. The League invites anyone who is interested in government and politics and serving the community to join us. The format for this evening's forum will be as follows. Each candidate will make a 2-minute opening statement. Next, the candidates will respond to questions from our audience. The candidates do not have access to the questions which were reviewed by League members, and these questions were submitted by people who are attending the forum. Each candidate will have a minute to respond to each question. And finally, the candidate will each have a minute to make a closing statement. We and the sponsoring organizations work together to invite all candidates to participate. Unfortunately, Mr. Faessel is unable to join us this evening, as is Abelino Valencia. And I want to make a record. Well, you do know that this is being recorded, so you will be able to see it later. Now, in a normal in-person forum, we don't allow campaign materials to be on display in the room where the forum takes place.
That makes sense.
Excuse me?
I said that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Right. But afterwards, we allow candidates and attendees to meet. So as a substitute, we are providing contact information for all the candidates, and that'll be on the screen at the end of the evening. Now, I want to introduce the candidates who are running for Anaheim City Council Districts 1, 4, and 5, and I'm introducing them in the random order we determined just a little bit ago. Actually, I determined it a little while ago, and let me see, I'm going to have to remember which area they're working for. But the first one is Ms. Anne Marie Randle-Trejo, and she is running for 1, right? Is that correct? Have I got that right? No, she's running for District 4. Then Mr. Ryan Bayless, who is running for District 1. Julie Burnett, who is running for District 4. Janine Robbins, who is running for District 4. Denise Barnes, who is running for District 1. Excuse me. Kenneth Batiste, who is running for District 5. Sabrina Cazeta, who is running for District 5. And Jose Diaz, who is running for District 1. Did I get that right, everybody?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. All right. So we will start with the opening remarks. Anne Marie, it's all yours for 2 minutes.
Thank you to the organizers of this forum, League of Women Voters, Yalla Indivisible, OCCCCO, and the Arab American Civic Council. At a time when people are scared of getting sick, grieving the loss of a loved one or job, or even wondering where their next meal will come from, you need a qualified, experienced leader to get you through these tough times. District 4 residents have the highest percentage of renters, the vast majority of STRs invading neighborhoods, and we all are near the very hot spots that are keeping us in quarantine. Our council majority is busy advocating for Disneyland and selling our stadium land for peanuts. It's time to elect a new representative that thinks about the residents first. I am the only candidate that has actually run and won 3 times in District 4. I have made and enacted policy as a trustee for 8 years with the Anaheim Union High School District. I oversee a $400 million budget, 3,000 employees with 6 associations, and I affect change for 30,000 students and families. We partner with over 70 business and nonprofits to prepare our students for the workforce today and to invent the jobs of tomorrow. When I am elected, I will bring transparency and accountability to a dais majority that people have lost faith in. You need someone to demand affordable housing units and to get us out from under these big corporations that control decisions that affect our daily lives. We need innovative ideas that take us from this century to the next. Believe, I won't be influenced nor intimidated by corporate money. Elect someone in District 4 that you know, who you can trust. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Bayless, or Ryan.
Thank you. First thing I'd like to do is thank the sponsors of the forum and the League of Women Voters. My name is Ryan Bayless, and I'm running for City Council for District number 1. And for me, my desire, I guess, to kind of help and serve started at a young age. I got my Eagle Scout when I was actually before even 18. My wife and I have been a 20-year resident of the West Anaheim. Our bedroom window actually faces Ball Road. We, like I said, have been here for quite some time. For the last 10 years, I've becoming more involved in the community, attended a ton of community meetings that are out there, started up with the WAND group, which is the West Anaheim Neighborhood Development Council, eventually taking on a leadership role in there as their barbecue chair, as well as their tree lighting chair. From there, we were still looking for, how can we try to help, or how can I try to help more? I have a background in Parks and Rec. I applied for the Parks and Rec Commission, and I was appointed about 4 years ago to the City of Anaheim's Parks and Recreation Commission. So I think that gives me a unique set of experiences to see what's going on out there in the community. I've got a 5-point plan. It's on my website. I'll give you the address at the end, but just to highlight it a little bit, we want to look at economic development, expressly developing or maybe overlaying and redeveloping Beach Boulevard, 39 Commons, increase public safety that's out there, develop some long-term solutions for the homelessness. I definitely support fiscal responsibility. And for me, I mentioned the Parks and Recreation Commission. So I'm really kind of near and dear to my heart would be the preservation of the limited park and open spaces that we have here in West Anaheim. Thank you.
Thank you. Julie.
My name's Julie Burnett. I'm running for District 4. I moved from LA County to here when I met my husband in 1989. When I first came here, it was very different. Back then, back where I come from, we fight for a neighborhood. I noticed that this neighborhood community needed a lot of work. I held 4 community meetings. I've got playground equipment for Palm Lane Park where the kids were playing in the dirt. I got Disney to put in a skateboard park so the kids would be off the street. And it bothers me that when I went to the community centers that the elderly, they needed their community center renovated, especially the bathrooms. I fight for the underdog, really. If anybody needs help, whether, I don't care if it's District 1, 2, 3, or 4, I'm here to help them. I don't like to see the city, which they have a double standards, and they have a way of do as I say, not as I do, and I've experienced that with people that I try to help with the city. I try my best to keep it, especially where I come from. I know how it is. I was almost homeless. I don't pity the homeless. I have compassion. I want them to be productive citizens. I would help. We need a building for domestic violence women. I was a domestic violence victim. I would like to have a building where they can go and be safe with their family, don't have to be afraid. And the housing, yeah, we should have affordable housing, but where is it going to go at? It's so high. I mean, we have all these contractors getting up land, putting in apartment buildings, condos, mega mansions, and where the integrity of the neighborhood's gone. And it's not all about money. It's about people. That's what I care about, is the people.
Thank you, Julie.
You take care.
Janine.
Good evening, and thank you for having this forum. My name is Janine Robbins, and I've been a resident of District 4 here for 29 years. For the last decade, I've been organizing residents throughout District 4 and throughout the entire city to take political stances on the various issues that we face on a daily basis. I'm not a person who talks the talk. I walk the walk and publicly stand either for or against Anaheim issues. I listen to the residents' concerns and take stances on their concerns. I personally have spoken at more than 200 city council meetings, as well as city-run district community forums. I have publicly supported district elections, senior services, affordable housing, as well as a living wage. I have spoken against unnecessary corporate subsidies, lack of transparency in our city council. I've spoken against the Angel Stadium giveaway. I've spoken against senior poverty and exorbitant rent increases, as well as the lack of services, shelters, and permanent supportive housing for our homeless population. Having remained actively communicative with residents for years, I can confidently say that the residents of District 4 are ready for
Great.
us to stand for them, to represent. Now more than ever, our residents need a council in what should be an equal partnership with the resort industry. Our residents need a council person who is not beholden to special interests. As a community, we simply cannot afford to let issues such as housing affordability and what appears to be unparalleled corruption go unaddressed. I am running for office to make lasting changes in our city and to improve the quality of life for District 4 residents. Thank you.
Thank you. Kenneth, or excuse me, Denise, you're up next.
There you
Oh,
go.
you need to unmute.
Yeah, I got it. I got it. Thank you so much. It's been 4 years, but thank you so much. This is wonderful to see you again. I am a resident here in West Anaheim, and I think it's great that district elections were finally given a chance. We've seen so much more happen when you're at the ground roots level to see and to hear and to experience the hardships that have happened to West Anaheim and continue to happen in West Anaheim. I've lived here for decades, but I've been completely immersed in outreach, whether it's with Parks and Recs or with my church, or mostly even with drives or seniors especially. That's where my heart is. And I've noticed more and more that the city of Anaheim was really getting a raw end of the deal, especially when it came to subsidies and other types of high corporate decisions in the city. And I just felt it wasn't right. I'd look at my tax bill and go, what's going on? My husband and I have a property management company, and so we know what it's like to have risk, but we also are very good stewards of the money we've been given. And that's why when I came on board, I'm not a politician. I'm a resident. I'm a person that cares about people, and I want to make sure that they are heard at City Hall. I do have to say, though, that since 2016, when the homeless tsunami, I'm going to call it that, arrived in our backyard, over 300 homeless people were there. But I did make Anaheim first in the county to be able to resolve that with wraparound services, Salvation Army that has another 100 beds coming on board. And you just can't say enough about getting that done from the past administration. I know there's much more to be done, but I think we've made a good chip in the iceberg, and bringing on new big companies like Anaheim Logistics is a big win for West Anaheim. Thank you.
Thank you. Kenneth, you're up next. You need to unmute yourself. Kenneth, yeah, got it.
Okay, yes. My name is Kenneth Batiste. I'm a resident here in District 5. I've been here as a homeowner for 13 years. I'm a former firefighter for the United States Forest Service, also a social worker for LA County, and also a highly decorated probation officer working in juvenile hall in East LA for nearly 25 years. I've been an activist, attending nearly 100 city council meetings. I first became active during the districting of the city. I've also seen that basically that the business of Anaheim has been tilted in favor of the big money and not towards the residents. I also am a member of the Poor People Campaign, Housing is a Human Right, and I'm associate of the Anaheim Homeless Task Force, which what we did was we put the lawsuit in for the homeless at the riverbed, and also we put in a lawsuit for the illegal conduct of our city council for the sale of our stadium. I believe that we need integrity. Corruption is running rapid, and we need people to look out for the interests of the people, not for the interests of the money. And when we do this, we become a better community. We need to unite all of our residents And together, doing this, I feel that I'm the best candidate for the seat. I won't be swelled by any type of other type temptations. I believe in running a campaign above board, and I would be honored to represent District 5. Thank you.
Thank you. Sabrina, your turn.
Good evening, everyone. Salam alaikum. Buenos noches, todos. My name is Sabrina Quesada, and I am running for Anaheim City Council, District 5, to be the voice for the community I have lived in all of my life. Let me tell you as to why I am the best candidate. I grew up in Anaheim, and I, like many of the other residents in District 5, I am the child of an immigrant working class family. At the age of 3, I lost my father due to deportation, which caused a huge disruption in my family. I was raised by a single mother, and at a young age, I understood the pitfalls associated with being a single mother. Because of this, I took refuge in education and saw it as an opportunity to improve my quality of life. I attended my K-12 education in Anaheim. I'm an alum of Catella High School, Fullerton College, and Santa Ana College. However, at 19, I found myself expecting to become a mother, and a single mother at that. But nonetheless, I remained in school, graduated with 4.0 during my pregnancy, and traveled to and transferred to UC Berkeley. At Berkeley, I would sometimes have to take my son to class with me, but I was able to graduate from UC Berkeley with a BS in environmental science within 2 years. At Berkeley, I'm currently in my last year of my master's program in education at USC, where I student teach for high school science students. I am not a politician. I am a young, educated product of my community, here to invest in thriving generations to come. I am running because this is my dream. I have worked toward this. And will this dream become a reality? Yes. As a young Latina single mother, I'm here to pursue justice and improve the quality of lives and invest in our community to bridge all the gaps, the educational gap, the inequality gap, the inequity gap, the income gap, and the wealth gap. That I'm here to create a ladder toward economic success and prosperity.
Thank you. Thank you. Jose, you're up next. You need to unmute yourself.
Thank you so much. After finishing college in Cuba, where I grew up, I wanted to escape the oppression, the lack of political and economic freedoms. I built my own raft. I took to the ocean, and 37 hours later, I was rescued by the Coast Guard. It had been 27 years since I arrived. I had to learn English. With a lot of effort, I went to college, and I finished my master in public administration at Cal State Long Beach. I worked hard. I took every opportunity, and today I run one of the largest water companies in Orange County with more than $40 million budget. I want those opportunities to be available for those that want to pursue their American dream. And I want Anaheim to be that place. I have a combination of experience, education, and leadership that made me the best candidate here. We have a plan, a 5-point plan to bring economic prosperity, to bring new homes, to address the homeless, to invest in our infrastructure, and to give the first responders their best tools. You can find more about me at the josediazforanaheim.com. Thank you so much.
And now to our questions. The first question will go to Ryan. You're up first on this one, on this round. What are your thoughts on the sale of the Anaheim Stadium? You have 1 minute.
Thank you. So my thoughts of the stadium sale. Well, first off, let me just say it wouldn't have been the exact deal that I would have tried to negotiate for. I think that the city ought to retain the property or the land value that's there and make a different deal or a different deal with the developer itself. However, with that being said, I believe the deal that is passed, that is there, is a great deal. You know, it's going to provide a lot of tax revenue to the city of Anaheim. It's going to create, you know, thousands and probably tens of thousands of jobs. It's going to make sure that the city of Anaheim is prosperous moving forward in the future. You're going to get a really nice park out of it in District number 5. So overall, I believe that the project is a really good project, and I believe it'll be successful over its lifetime. Thank you.
Julie, you're next on this one. Do you need me to repeat it? Julie, you need to unmute yourself.
Can you hear me now?
There you go. Yeah,
Hello?
Yes, you're good. Yes, I can
You
hear
have to unmute yourself. I can't hear you.
Oh,
I can't hear her.
No, can you hear me now?
Oh. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Oh.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Do you need me to repeat the question?
How do I feel about the Anaheim Stadium deal?
Right.
They sold it too cheap. And they should have let the public know. Apparently, what I read, this was negotiations when Tate was mayor. And everything's good on paper. Is when they start breaking ground, is when you really find out what's going to happen. But I think it was too cheap, personally. I like to see, and then when they say affordable housing, define affordable housing. That's prime area. I mean, I'm sure they're not going to let Section 8 in that area or any other. I don't know. Something's fishy about it. I just think it was too cheap. Sold it too cheap. That's all I got to say.
Okay, thank you.
Janine. As a founding member of the People's
You need to unmute yourself. Janine? Janine? There you go.
Yes.
Okay, now I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I did, but then I got muted by the host.
Okay.
So as a founding member of the People's Homeless Task Force, we have currently filed a lawsuit against the city of Anaheim. As a founding member of the People's Homeless Task Force, we have currently filed a lawsuit against the city of Anaheim for violation of the Brown Act in the sale of Angel Stadium. This deal was conducted completely in secrecy with no transparency and no input from the residents. During the sale of Angel Stadium, with the reduction in the sales price for the building of 466 units of affordable housing and a 7-acre park, the city has found itself subsidizing Angel Stadium. When Ryan talks about the tens of thousands of jobs that are going to be created by the sale of this in the plan, what we're talking about is tens of thousands of low-paying, low-wage jobs. And where will these people live? This deal needs to be stopped, and it needs to be redone in complete transparency with public input. And hopefully our lawsuit will succeed in that. Thank you.
Thank you. Denise. Oh, she's connecting to audio. We can't see you, Denise. All we see is your name. You need me to repeat the question? Denise? Denise, can you hear us?
I don't believe she was able to successfully connect her audio.
Oh. Oh, shoot. Oh.
You might want to go to the next candidate.
Okay,
and
we'll
get
go
back
to the
her.
next one and see if she can come back. All right, the next one would be Kenneth. Oh, you need to unmute yourself.
I got you.
Good, got it.
Okay. The answer to the question is this is a bad deal. 150 million. The only way I can compare this is to the Dodger Stadium when McCord had to sell it. It was retailed for 800 million for the team, the stadium, and the parking lot. He put it up for bid. It sold for $2 billion, and he didn't even sell the parking lot. And when do we get into the business of selling our most valuable property? I don't see nobody selling the LA Coliseum, the Rose Bowl. Pasadena's holding on to it, the Qualcomm in San Diego, the Oakland Coliseum in Oakland, even the Sacramento Arena. It is not for us to go ahead and sell our most precious, valuable landmark that goes ahead and brings in tens of millions of dollars to the city. We should own it, we should run it, and we should do what's best in the interest of the residents. Thank you.
Thank you. Sabrina.
Okay, so I believe
Go ahead.
I believe the plan was not adequate. It was missing very needed information. There was no mention about the traffic flow, educational sector, what type of commercial would be used there, small businesses. And it also mentioned that there would be 777 units allocated to the section, which accounts for 15% of middle income, low income, and very low income housing. This is not adequate to support our residents here in Anaheim. Also, we should be increasing this to about 30% to 40%. Also, we want to have this is going to be done in, can take anywhere up to 25 years. We also have CEQA regulations that can come in place. Also, once the land is sold, the developer is not guaranteed to actually complete this project. And therefore, I believe that this plan is missing very valid information and key points as a city planner perspective.
Thank you. Denise, are you able to speak now? Did you get your sound going? Oh, good,
Yeah.
there you are.
Yes,
Excellent.
my computer crashed. It only lasts 20 minutes and then it goes down.
Oh dear.
I'll make this real short.
Okay.
What she said. She definitely has nailed it. Having researched the stadium agreement, I don't like to use the word deal because it's not a deal. It's an agreement that came to the council. And being that it started the minute the mayor was elected and then rolled out quite succinctly behind closed doors, and making himself the leader in that negotiation team, and none of the rest of us were apprised of it. It was just so telling that this would be very hard to be able to recognize what was good, what was bad, what were the benefits to the not only the workers that were going to come in and actually do the work, but also to any of the residents that were going to get anything. The big deal is that it had no transparency. I had an 800-page book to read before the meeting, and there's no way you would have enough time to make a good judgment on that without having enough workshops to explain that.
Thank you,
Thank
Denise.
you.
Jose.
Thank you for the opportunity. Anaheim residents overwhelmingly want to keep the Angels in Anaheim. This deal will keep the Angels for at least 30 more years. Currently, the city made little to no money with the current lease, and the stadium is due for millions of dollars in repairs. By January 2021, the city will receive a check for $50 million, and the liability for the repairs will go to the new owner. Around 1,000 low-income houses gonna be built. 7 acres park will gonna be built. Thousands of new jobs gonna be created, thousands of new houses, retail, entertainment, you name it. Billions of dollars gonna flow into the city for economic benefits that gonna enjoy every resident in Anaheim.
Thank you. Anne-Marie.
Thank you.
You need to unmute yourself. Yeah.
Alrighty. I spoke out about this deal in public, and I am totally against it. I stand with the experts who say that the deal is bad. There is a cross-section of Republicans, Democrats, Independents who oppose this deal and think there's some flim-flam going on, which is the residents are being duped. Not only are we selling the land way under market, we're not even getting paid for it. This so-called affordable housing payment in lieu of cash is extremely disturbing, especially that housing doesn't even have to be built for 30 years, and it doesn't help the affordable housing crisis now. We won't see the revenue from the retail because the stores are not required to be completed for 15 years. And there are no efforts in this deal of urgency to be completed before the Olympics that come in 2028. Transparency and the Anaheim branding. We don't even get our name in the deal. And folks, the Angels were never going to leave.
Thank you. So the next question is, and we will start with Julie on this one. Do you support the designation of Little Arabia District in Anaheim? Julie? Can you unmute yourself? Julie, we can't hear you. You have to unmute yourself. Can you yeah, there you go.
Oh God.
Now you're good. Okay.
Okay, repeat that please.
Yes. Do you support the designation of Little Arabia District in Anaheim?
Yes. Of course.
Okay. Is that your answer?
Oh. Yes. Oh yes.
Or did you want to say anything more? I must say that the shorter, if you use less time, that'll make more time for more questions.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
I support it. Bring them on.
Janine.
Yes, I wholeheartedly support the designation of Little Arabia here in Anaheim. It's an area that we have great pride in. It's an area that draws people not only from all over the county, but from all over Southern California. And we should have designated it a long time ago. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Denise?
Thank you for that question. Are you saying, say that sentence again, the question
again? Do you
again?
support the designation of Little Arabia District in Anaheim?
So you mean they want to be known as Little Arabia in Anaheim, or just the community itself? Because the community is a beautiful community. I've followed it, oh gosh, even the markets, I shop it all the time. And I really, what comes to mind is a lady named Nala who has helped Access Cal be able to help the immigrants when they get here on the soil in Anaheim. And she's been extremely helpful to other communities, Hispanics, Asian, it doesn't matter. What it does is it takes a small piece of the world and brings it to life here in our back door. And the people, the food, the music, everything, I believe every nationality should be recognized. So thank you for that question.
Thank you. Kenneth.
I wholeheartedly support Little Arabia. I also support Access California. I think that it's a beautiful area. I come from LA County, and where I was raised in LA County, we have all the different nationalities, Koreatown, Little Saigon, we have everything. So as in the sense of us being the largest city in Orange County, we should definitely bring out our heritage, and not only just bring out our heritage, we should go ahead and do programs that go ahead and unite people of all race, colors, creed, to come together for the common cause. And the common cause is to go ahead and have a better quality of life. And to do that, we must recognize our differences and learn to admire them and become better people from the knowledge of knowing each other. Thank you.
Thank you. Sabrina.
Yes, if this is what the community wants, then we should grant their wishes. And not only does Arabia encompass the meaning of Arabics, it also encompasses religion, as many Arabians are Muslim as well. And we want to encourage diverse cultures and ingrain and incorporate diverse communities so we can be more accepting of one another and really become culturally aware and understand each other's points of views. There's nothing more that I love is going into someone's house and them in their in Arabics and the Muslim culture and so forth are very they are very hospital. I always have trouble with that word. They have a very like hospitality nature, and they welcome you in their home, provide really great food, some Arabic food, some falafel, some kebabs. Like I love it and I'm for it, and I'm happy that they're here in Anaheim, as they represent 1% of our population here.
Thank you. Jose.
Thank you for the question. Anaheim was founded many, many years ago by a group of German immigrants, and they call it Anaheim. Since then, many, many cultures, hundreds of cultures, I would say, have came to the city and made this city their home. We respect every culture. We speak many languages. I myself have never felt discriminated here in Anaheim. The opposite. I have many opportunities, and I took those opportunities. We respect every culture. We welcome every culture. The area is very diverse. We enjoy that. We enjoy the food. We enjoy the culture, and we respect every culture at the same time.
Thank you.
And about naming a specific portion of the city, like a Little Arabia, I disagree. I think we should keep our city as Anaheim and welcome everybody. Let everybody feel welcome and appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you. Anne-Marie.
Thank you. As yes, one of the largest cities in Orange County, it's a cosmopolitan city. We welcome everyone here, and I'm really surprised that it hasn't happened sooner than now. And I wish that it should happen as soon as possible. I think we've already designated it as Little Arabia, that area. We have a wonderful population. I know there are many folks in District 4, and I just think that it's about time. I thank you for the question, whoever asked this, because it does need to be highlighted and it does need to be supported. So thank you for the question, and absolutely yes.
Thank you. Ryan.
Yes, thank you. I believe that we have an incredibly diverse population here in the city of Anaheim. I think we're all working together, of course, to improve our community that's out there. So to answer this question maybe a little more specifically for me, I would want to try to get a little bit more input, get the feel of what the community has to say. I think it's important that, before you designate anything, that you include in your decision-making the community that's out there, and then see what their voice is at and try to represent them as best as you can.
Thank you. The next question will start with Janine, and the question is, how will you meet the city's need for affordable housing?
I believe with as much new construction going on, that it's important that we have a mandate for a certain percentage of affordable units for every development. So whether that be 15% or 20%, and it needs to span the realm from very low income to low income housing. We currently have thousands of units that are being built and thousands of units that are being proposed. The developers need to be forced, if they want to build here in Anaheim, they need to be forced to include affordable housing, and it can't be something that they buy their way out of. Thank you.
Thank you. Denise.
You? Boy, that's been a toughie the last 4 years, if not longer, for the city. We all know that Orange County real estate is extremely expensive. that affordable housing in Orange County is not really affordable. You need to make at least $24 an hour just to make ends meet, let alone have a mortgage insurance, all the things that go along with that. You know, I don't see a clock ticking, so could you put that up?
Yeah, does the timer, I may have jumped too quickly from one speaker to another. Does our timer need some time to kind of readjust that?
Thank you. I'm having a little technical difficulties.
Oh.
Give me a minute. Thank you.
Okay, well,
Thank you, Denise.
speaking, but it's really hard when the council will commit to affordable housing, but then we cannot make those promises come true because developers and other realtors will have to be able to compromise the profit. So it's not a win-win unless you know for sure that you can work with the state to get state land. There's plenty of it out there, but nobody might be seeking it. And as long as the state can turn over the land to the city, then we can start working with partnerships with developers, private developers, and the city. A lot of that goes unrecognized. It's too bad because then everybody's just looking for public property to scoop up and then resell it. But it is a factor, like Janine said, if we commit to a certain percentage of housing that will have to be included in that equation. It can happen. It happens in Newport. It happens in Irvine. This has been going on for 6 or 7 years. And it really needs to be looked at, and you need to have a council that's really committed to that. You can let me know when my time is up. But,
yeah, I think it's about now.
Okay.
I started keeping it on mine.
Okay, thank you so much.
We're on the honor system. Okay, timer, do you need some more time to get that thing started? He's not answering me. Well, I have my stopwatch here if you're willing to let me.
I think we have to go with that.
Yeah, okay. Kenneth, you're next. You're up next.
First thing I could say is that I found that the Anaheim City Council and the Board of Supervisors are really not committed towards providing affordable housing in Orange County. That's why our homeless problem is growing. Nor are they interested in trying to have protections for our renters. And when, just like we're facing right now, 40 million people facing eviction and foreclosures. So the average household in Anaheim makes $42,000 a year. The average rent is $1,900. The average rent in the Platinum Triangle is almost $2,100. We received a D when it came to affordable housing in the state. And yet and still we received an A for luxury units. So we need to go ahead and try the, what are they called? The ADUs, where we can go ahead and build a granite units and things above the garage. Thank you.
Thanks. Sabrina.
Susan, I think I'm ready now. So
okay,
thank
excellent,
you.
Excellent. Okay, Sabrina.
As a single mother, I understand the needs for affordable housing here in Anaheim, and that is where my expertise in city planning and community development comes in. I plan to create inclusive mixed-use housing. This would attract the private sector to want to develop in Anaheim, even with the 20 to 40% of low and very low income housing. This will also assist with our residents in Anaheim. As per capita, our residents make about $2,200 per month, and the average rent in Anaheim is about $1,500. That's over 50% of the income. We also want to beautify Anaheim with beautiful homes, and this includes working with the private and public sector to create affordable, beautiful housing, while also taking in mind gentrification issues that may arise with increased rental rates.
Thank you. Thank you. Jose.
Another excellent question. Thank you for that. It's only one way to fix the housing crisis, and one way only. and that's to build new houses. Everything else is a Band-Aid. The cost of the land is expensive. The cost of getting through the permit is incredibly expensive and long time. The longest it takes, the most money it costs. The only way to fix this is to create ways for the developers to facilitate for them to build new housing units. There's no other way around, guys. No other way around. We need to build more housing units. That will fix the problem. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And Anne-Marie, you're up next on this one.
Thank you. I agree with my colleagues that said that they need a committed council to fix this problem, and it's not a one fix problem. But the city of Anaheim has about 6,000 people now on a waiting list for housing help, and we're behind building 19,000 obligated units within the affordable housing. District 4 has the highest percent of renters, and the plague of SDR compounds that problem because those entities are bought up and they're not used for short-term rentals. It's a business now, and I think banning the SDRs would help because if we do that, then they would have to sell the property, and at least it opens up hundreds of homes that can be bought. I think developers will not build affordable housing without a policy. I disagree with you, Jose. Developers don't do that without a strict policy.
Thank you. Ryan.
Well, thank you. I believe the most effective way to develop more housing in Anaheim across all affordability levels is to comprehensively overhaul the RENA process at the state level. You know, the current housing requirements that are established through the RENA process are unmanageable. They place a lot of burdens on the city that ultimately discourage the development of housing, and in particular, the development of affordable housing. These standards make it incredibly difficult for developers to pencil out their projects and force them to artificially inflate the cost of market rate homes in order to offset the losses that are incurred through the sale of below market rate units. This serves to perpetuate the problem of identifying and providing affordable housing and places an unnecessary burden on the market rate buyers within the development. So I'd be in favor of providing developers with inducements to continue to construct housing and not place restrictions on them that hinder the development.
Thank you. Julie. Where's Julie?
Unmute, Julie.
Can you unmute yourself?
Can you hear me now?
I can.
Oh, all right. Well, you know what? There's no easy answer. There's a huge demand and not much supply. I mean, the contractors are here to make money. You know, I mean, they're going to buy this land, but they're not thinking of, I mean, come on, let's be real. I mean, they're thinking of going into neighborhoods and building all these apartment buildings and all that, and which, you know, even like when I heard about the Anaheim Stadium, they're making low-cost housing. Well, that's really relative. What is low-cost affordable housing? I come from LA, and you know, it's tough up there. When I met my husband, I came here. This is my first home. And I see a lot of problems with people telling me about the rents and all that. And, you know, I don't know, there is no really answer because everybody's going to have to make money. And the contractors come with, okay, give me some tax breaks or subsidies or something. Everybody wants something. Nobody does anything for anybody.
Thank you, Julie.
Okay.
Denise, you'll be first on this next one. Do you support rent control, just cause eviction, and other types of tenant protections to protect seniors and working families in mobile homes, apartments, and other renters' dwellings?
I do. Do you support rent control?
No.
That's what the question is.
Denise?
Okay.
Is Denise there? I know she's had problems with coming with her computer.
Yeah.
Denise. Denise? All right, let me go to, let me switch. I'll start Kenneth on this one and make him first and come back and give Denise another first time. Kenneth, can you start us on this one?
Can you read the question over again, please?
Yes. Do you support rent control, just cause eviction, and other types of tenant protections to protect seniors and working families in mobile homes, apartments, and other renters' dwellings?
I definitely do. We need that protection to protect against homelessness. We have one case is our seniors over at Rancho La Paz. Their rent at first went up somewhere around 70%. And it was a choice between medicine, food, and rent. We had it so bad that some of the residents was walking down the railroad tracks going ahead and trying to commit suicide. We deserve to treat our seniors, our people, with some type of safeguards. Now, on the other side too, we don't need to jump in and tell the landlord what he should go ahead and charge for his property. But once that agreement is done, we need to have those safeguards in there. And who's the main ones that have the main trauma behind all this if things go wrong? Are the children and the senior citizens. And the senior citizens is the next group they expect to be the next major people to face homelessness. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Sabrina.
Yes, so I support rent control. I think it is a great measure to be able to decrease the ability to raise rent at ridiculous rates. We want to decrease anxiety for our community members to not have to worry about, oh, is my rent going to be increased mid-year or when I have to renew my lease? This is a very great pressing issue, and rent control needs to be taken into account. We also want to acknowledge the current rent control proposition that is currently out. That is something that will also benefit us as Anaheim renters, as 55% of the residents in District 4 are renters. And this is something that will also be able to assist, not only help with rent, but it's a mechanism that detracts homeowners from being able to use a single family home and convert it into a condominium to detract from being part of the rent control.
Thank you. Jose. You need to unmute yourself. Yes.
There we go.
Good. Thank you.
Rent control. Let's start with the only way to fix the housing crisis, again, in California is to build more housing. Rent control will deter that because we will take the stimulus from developers to build more housing. They do this for a profit. If you take that profit away, it will destroy the market. It has been proven in many ways. This is a band-aid. We want to fix the problem. Let's build more houses. There is no way around. Thank you.
Thank you. Anne Marie.
Thank you for the question. Unfortunately, we look to landlords to do the right thing, and some do, some don't. We're in a housing crisis, and usually the people that rent are very vulnerable to become homeless. We've got to do something right now to help them, and especially right now in this COVID area when people are scrambling for their next paycheck and they're trying to find something to eat. This would be another way of helping and solving a very, very much needed issue. So I think it's a part of that huge plan with 10 tentacles to help the housing insecurity problem.
Thank you. Ryan.
Yes, thank you. So I believe in a market rate. So I suppose, no, I would not support rent control. I do believe that the majority of landlords that are out there are good landlords, and they're not, I guess if you would say, they're not raising the rates as you would suggest. I own properties. I can tell you that that's not something that I do. We set up a contract before we move in. And I think that as long as both parties follow that contract that's out there, I think that's important. So again, I'm a market rate, not supporter of rent control. Thank you.
Thank you. Julie. Julie, can you unmute yourself?
Can you hear me now?
I can.
Hello?
Yes, you're good.
Hello?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
I can't hear you now.
I can hear you.
Unmute yourself.
Go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Oh God. Yes, I am in favor of rent control. That's why I became almost homeless, because the landlord wanted to sell his home and said if I didn't leave, he'll burn it down. Plus, he was a slumlord. Yeah, I believe in rent control. There's a lot of people out there that need help. I mean, you'd be surprised. I met a lot of people that I'm helping, one right now, a couple that they're evicting, and I'm trying really hard to find him a place to live with him and his family. Yeah, I do believe in rent control. Definitely. Definitely.
Thank you. The next, Denise, now it's yours. And I just saved you. You were first on the last, anyway, I moved it around. So can you respond to this one?
Yeah, try to get me in every 20 minutes.
Well, can I make you first on the next one?
And that'd be great.
Okay, go ahead.
First
Answer
of all,
this
being
one.
a property management company, I do own several properties, and of course, this would be a catastrophe for me if there was rent control. However, I've been a good steward of the money that I do get, and I do tuck away a certain amount, always, always. You will always have bills, whether it's for new appliances, a roof, any kind of damage that happens to the house. And that's the best way to manage a company or manage the inventory that you have. But I do believe that we should have a regular cap that we will go to, and then also add on whatever is the cost of living. And that's what happened with Rancho La Paz. The past landlord never did that. So when you're looking at $500 space rent, and all of a sudden you come to $2,020 dollars to say this is what it is worth now.
Thank you. Denise, can we take you on are you going to be able to stay with us to do the next one? Denise, is your computer going out? Yes?
Sue, this is Janine. I haven't answered the question yet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
How did I miss you?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Okay,
so
let me.
I see what I did. So sorry.
That's okay. Don't worry. Let me say that I wholeheartedly support rent control. With our current housing crisis, the lack of affordable housing and skyrocketing rents are one of the top 3 causes of homelessness. The last thing that our seniors and low wage earners should have to worry about is the ability to stay in their housing due to extreme rent increases. Extreme rent increases lead to a lot of situations within the city, such as overcrowding in existing units. So people are trying to keep a roof over their head, such as the parking problem that so many neighborhoods are experiencing. We cannot be having our seniors living on the streets. I have encountered hundreds of seniors living on the streets who were evicted because of extreme rent increases. And I stood hand in hand with the seniors from Rancho La Paz at protests and speaking at city council to stop the rent increases. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm so sorry, but
that's okay.
And I want to thank everybody for muting themselves when they're not speaking, because I think that does help. Sabrina, I'm going to put you first on this one. The COVID-19 pandemic highlighted the racial disparities that exist with Anaheim communities being greatly impacted. What do you see as the role of the City Council in addressing these inequities that exist in Anaheim?
So that is correct. We do see higher rates affecting lower socioeconomic communities more so than other communities, even in Anaheim. My 92806 zip code, District 5, we have high rates of COVID, and just as of today, 3 additional people expired. So my hearts go out to families who have experienced lost. I'm here to do something about the public health sector. I'm here to promote contact tracing, increase testing, and once a vaccine is available, my UBI here will assist with being able to provide affordable means to pay for this, such as being able to afford Medicare costs. So I am here to assist with the public sector to improve it. We are not here to open up our city yet. We are here to provide the necessary means of health to create healthy families.
Thank you. Thank you. Jose.
Thank you. What we learned from the COVID-19 is that we have to diversify our economy. We lost Disneyland, we lost the hotels. Therefore, the city has losing $400,000 a day. Pretty soon, you're gonna be laid off at City Hall. We have to diversify our economy, and we have to make that so the poorest people, the working class, especially the Latinos that we wanna work, have a job. That's why I'm encouraging all the time economic development. When the economy does good, everybody does good. We can no longer depend just on Disneyland. We have to diversify our economy so we are not dependent. Thank God for Disneyland, but we have to diversify our economy so everybody has opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you. Anne-Marie.
So could you repeat the question, please?
Yes. The COVID-19 pandemic highlighted the racial disparities that exist in Anaheim communities being greatly impacted. What do you see as the role of the City Council in addressing these inequities in Anaheim?
Okay, thank you. Well, the city doesn't have a plan. We heard that at the last council meeting. Our mayor said, we don't have a plan to open up the city. They should have, and I'm speaking about the council majority. I think we have 2 council persons that care and understand about COVID. And actually it was Dr. Jose Moreno who actually exposed the disaggregated numbers. And that's when the city started really exposing the zip codes. And then Latino Health Access asked the schools to help with that. They should have gotten a task force together, and they should do it now, and they should put a plan together. It's immoral to try to open up a city and rely on Disney, rely on anyone else, the governor, the county. The city should have gotten themselves together and made a plan.
Thank you. Ryan.
Yes, thank you. Since I guess the very beginning, the city has, I think, done a pretty decent job handling the situation. I mean, no one knew really what to expect or what was going to happen in this pandemic. There wasn't a plan that was outlined to put out there. And so it's kind of been flying, not by the seat of your pants, but it was something that had to be put into play without ever experiencing this before. And so, the city opened up its EOC to give a central and unified response to COVID. And I think that's the right way to handle it. It's a single point of contact for everything that your community needs out there. I believe the city has funded, millions of dollars in relief programs for the homeless. I know for food banks that have been out there. They've given almost what $2 million loan to small businesses that are out there, and I think that it's important moving forward that we open safely, as safely as we possibly can.
Thank you. Julie. Julie, you need to unmute yourself. I still can't hear you. You're still muted. No, I can't hear you. You're still muted.
Okay, there.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Yeah,
Okay,
every time
now
I'm
we can.
muted, it goes back to muting me. Okay. I think the city should open. I mean, 8 months, okay, fine. Now the businesses are suffering. The families are suffering. I mean, the city council's got to start opening little by little, bring back the businesses. I've seen them suffer. I've seen some people that own business that they have to close early, that they can't meet their house payment, their mortgage. Come on, enough is enough. All it takes is common sense, okay? You know, it's just like any virus. I know, this pandemic and everything, okay? But it's been 8 months already. It's time to open up the city and let us live again. Live again. They can open Target, Walmart, and all that. Then start opening everything else. I have a neighbor that died. She used to go to the gym. It was her only way to go out, and she died because she had nothing to do but stay home and get depressed. And we all get depressed. I'm getting depressed when I'm staying home. I used to go to the casino. I can't even go to the casino anymore, just for fun. But we should reopen. This is enough. And I figure that after the elections, it will open.
Thank you. Thank you. Denise. Denise, you need to unmute yourself.
Okay, I guess I didn't get to talk about the housing thing, and I was cut off, right? Okay. You can hear me though?
Yeah, I can. Did you want to talk about the rent control? Did you not get to speak about the rent control?
Yeah, I didn't. I saw Janine come up really quick.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just going to say, especially about the rent control, because that's very important in District 1. We are about, oh my gosh, 65% apartments. And as far as rent control, it would be tough. It would be really tough if we had that. But I also want to say that right now in COVID, I've been reading a lot about what the federal government can do, and that would be to give vouchers. And don't let it be on the backs of the landlord to continue to give rent free. I call it rent free because they're not paying rent. Let the residents file with the feds, and that way when they get back to doing their taxes, when all this is in recovery, then the government can start either taking money out of their checks, or they have a payment plan, and it really would alleviate the landlords. And it sounds like a very good bill that might be coming in the legislature. Now, can I answer the other question or no?
You know,
it's okay. It's up to you. You're the
you're the guy. Yeah, you know, I'll tell you what. I was not keeping track, and it's almost 8:20. I should have announced this as a last question, because really, I should go to closing statements for all of you. I'm very sorry. We've done pretty well considering wrestling with this system.
Sue, Janine again. I haven't had a chance to answer this question.
Yeah, I think we should let the rest of the.
Do you want to let her answer it?
Yes.
Okay. Was that for? I've forgotten. Was that Denise?
No, this was Janine.
Janine. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you not get it? Oh, you didn't get a chance to answer that question. Go ahead and answer it.
That's okay. Thank you. Me, right, Janine?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So in 2008, during the Great Recession, Anaheim should have learned as a city, and they should have learned not to devote every single resource in the city towards the tourism industry. However, we didn't learn, and we continued to treat the tourism industry as the end-all be-all of our city. We recently gave $6.5 million to Visit Anaheim to promote a closed resort industry instead of putting it out into the community where it should have been. The disparity in the zip codes was hidden by the city council for many, many months. And it was hidden for the simple reason that it was occurring in areas that were grossly dense, where there was 3-4 families living in one unit, where people didn't have the space to quarantine themselves away from the other people. That caused the virus to be rampant in those areas, and that is simply unexcusable. So it is my opinion that the city needs to diversify their revenue sources, and we cannot simply rely on the resort. And while we may think that Disneyland can reopen safely, we cannot guarantee that those hotels and the supporting industries in the resort area will follow the health guidelines. And that could allow the virus to spread very quickly among our residents who work in those industries, and then would bring it home to their families.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think we'd better move to closing arguments, and I will start.
Hello, I didn't get a chance to answer
Oh,
that.
you did? I'm sorry. Oh, gee, thank you. Go ahead and answer.
Okay, first
Please.
thing, when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. We should have went ahead and put a comprehensive plan together addressing the needs of the residents. We should have had places where we could have dealt with isolation for people who were living 3, 4 generations in the same household. Also, the $6.5 million that my colleague just mentioned, I wanted to make sure we really got down to the nitty-gritty of that. That was sent to visit Anaheim for future bookings of the resort industry that could not go ahead and book anything until everything was open, while our residents face foreclosures and eviction. You say the disparity is if I have a job where I can bring it home and I can work versus I don't have a job at all. Medical costs, medical care. Let's get down to the real questions of what it is. Our immigrant communities had rice, beans, and everything else trying to feed their children. We need to go ahead and do everything else for our lower class and for the inequality people in Anaheim. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. My apologies. We're going to turn around and start at the bottom of the list for our closing arguments, or for our closing statements. Jose, that puts you first.
Thank you so much again. Well, I have a combination of experience, education, and leadership that makes me a unique candidate. I run one of the largest water companies in Orange County. I have more than 20 years experience at 2 cities. I build my budget. I create a staff report. I do presentation to city council. And also I had the leadership. At the city council level, you need 4 votes to move forward any program, anything. And I had that leadership that will bring that consensus to city council to get things done. You can find more about my campaign and my program at josediazforanaheim.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Sabrina.
Thank you again for having me tonight. The future is now. I am going to create a circular economy addressing the income gap, increase human capital with education, increase affordable housing, use renewable clean energy, and promote affordable utilities with citywide Wi-Fi. The district is ready for change. 62% of the population is Latino. 46% of the registered voters are Latino as well. And 50% of the voters are under the age of 40. Half of them are millennial or younger. I reflect the diverse demographic of this district and can best address our concerns in our district. As a lifelong resident, I grew up in these neighborhoods. I ask you to vote for me, Sabrina Quesada, and let's move forward together toward progress for us all.
Thank you. Kenneth.
My closing arguments is this. As one of my colleagues just said, I don't just walk the walk. I don't just do the talk, I walk the walk. I've been there for the unions, the Disneyland workers, the Rancho La Paz. I have been at the Anaheim City Council meetings for the last 4 years, going ahead and fighting for the benefits of our residents. We need to go ahead and do things as in a sense of the bad deals that we have. We have a bad deal with Disneyland on our bond where we paid for the parking lot that they that they operate and keep all of the money. But we're paying the bond for 40 years. This other deal that we're talking about with Angel Stadium, before this deal came, the last 10 years, the Angels made $1 billion while we only made $2 million. We need people in there that's trustworthy. We need people in there that has honesty, dignity, morality, and will not waver for doing the right things for the residents of our city. Thank you.
Thank you. Denise.
Thank you. I really have had a great experience getting my feet wet, but mostly emerging into city council this last 4 years. And it's been a privilege working with nonprofits and businesses and making relationships. That's what really is the glue to the position, is realizing there's a lot of players, a lot of people that are going to be tugging at you from every which way. But my first priority is to help those that are in the community. The corporations will go on, they will have their safety nets, but our city does not. So when employees are laid off at the city level, they don't have that safety net. They depend on our city hall to have that. And when our community is without food and without health insurance, now that we know that health insurance has been cut on Unite Here employees, it's critical. It's absolutely critical that they have a roof over their head, food on the table, safety in their neighborhoods, and that's what I plan to continue. Vote Denise Barnes, 2020. Thank you.
Thank you. Janine.
Thank you. I believe that I am the best candidate for this position. I have been working with residents in all neighborhoods of District 4 for over a decade now. I have experience in dealing with municipal employees at all levels. I would like to say I am the granddaughter of Mexican immigrants who worked in these packing houses that we've since converted to restaurants. I am a graduate of UCI. Along with my husband, we're small business owners and have been for the last 40 years. This city is currently in dire financial straits with a net deficit that has increased from $550 million to over $734 million in just 8 short months. The employees of the city are in danger of losing their pensions. The city is in danger of going bankrupt, and I am the best candidate for this job to straighten everything out, and I will represent the residents till the end. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Julie. You need to unmute yourself.
At the bottom.
I know, it's a lot of problems. Okay, I may be running for District 4, but I help everybody. I help the vulnerable, the elderly, the disabled. They can call me from District 1, 2, 3, and 5, not only 4. I don't believe that we should separate by district. If somebody needs help, I'm gonna help them. I'm not gonna ask them, well, what district are you in? Go ask this and that. No, I'm not doing that. I fought so long for a lot of people. I even helped Denise Barnes. And I went to her community center and they asked me for help, and I try to help them as much as I can. That's all I can say, you know. I mean, and if I lose, which I probably will, I have a chance to win like everybody else, I'll still help. They still can call me and say, hey, can you help me? I sure will. And that I promise that, and that, like Gandhi said, I have a big mouth and I tell the truth. I say it like it is. But like Gandhi said, I may be a minority of one, but the truth is the truth. So if you want, vote for me, Julie Burnett. So you have everybody. Thank you, everybody, for talking. You're all really smart people. I wish, you know, you guys really did a great job, and I learned a lot from you also. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you. First, I'd like to thank the audience here for watching. Thank the League of Women Voters. I want to work with and for the residents of District 1 to make Anaheim a better place to live and play. You know, some of my top priorities are maintaining and enhancing public safety, and not only public safety, but traffic safety as well. Addressing economic development throughout the city, specifically in District 1 within the Beach Boulevard and West Anaheim itself. Develop long-term sustainable solutions to the homeless. And then I suppose if you like that and you want to find out more about me, you can find out more about my 5-point plan on my website. It's my name, ryanbayless.com. And then it would be my honor to earn your vote. And so remember, when you go to vote, please vote Bayless. Thank you.
Thank you. And Anne-Marie.
Thank you all for putting on this forum and giving us a chance to express our opinions and thoughts.
Okay, the timer is good. Keep going.
I've loved Anaheim since I skated across the ice at Glacier Falls Ice Rink, and my first concert was at the Angel Stadium. Long before I became a trustee, I was an advocate for children and families in Anaheim as a PTA mom. I've worked for the health, safety, and welfare of all students. I've served on the YMCA board, and I volunteered for the Girl Scouts. I've advocated in AUHSD for 20 years, spending 8 as trustee, and I've worked for Anaheim Elementary for 25 years, enthusiastically working with children with special needs. I chose to live, work, raise my children in Anaheim, and I've done so for 30 years. What you heard from me today was genuine, and it would be an honor to be your next councilwoman. I'm Anne-Marie Randle-Trejo, representing District 4. Thank you.
Thank you. And that concludes our program. I have a few announcements. League of Women Voters sponsors Voters Edge, which is a website where voters can enter their street address and zip code to find their ballots, and candidates can put up their information for free. Some of you have put up your information. You'll also find a lot of information about federal and state candidates and ballot measures, and that includes financial information. If you're going to be voting in person, the vote centers are open October 30 through November 3rd. There's also going to be a pop-up vote center in Anaheim on Sunday, November 1st. If you're going to vote by mail, there are 10 ballot drop boxes in Anaheim. So you got a lot of choices. And that concludes our program. Thank you so much for coming. This is only our second virtual candidate forum we've done. So thank you for bearing with us. And thank you for all participating.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great night.
Job. Good night.
Thank you.